So next we're going to head all the way up there to Black Isle in Scotland to hear from Martin Sherring about the Highland Good Food conversation and what it's unlocking. So Martin, over to you.
Great, thanks very much for that. So I'm going to talk about how we organise an online conference aimed at developing a better food system for the Highlands. And I've been asked to pick out a few things that I thought might be useful to other people, some little lessons that we learned along the way. So the idea for the conference came from me and a friend, kind of scratching our heads and wondering how locally produced food could become available to everyone. But as we thought about it, we came up with a whole load of other food issues, things like diet-related illness, food waste, and of course the climate implications of farming. We didn't have any of the answers to the problems, but meanwhile, we came across one of Rob's blog posts about a group from Liège in Belgium, which had organized a conference to ask similar big questions. And out of their conference came a whole sort of ecology of new local food businesses and co-ops. So we thought maybe we could do something similar in the Highlands. So that's my first top tip. Don't be shy about stealing other people's good ideas. So the first thing we did was to set up a small steering group. And we ended up with an absolutely fantastic group of people, including a former chair of the Soil Association, a local farmer, a director of a Scottish organic flour business, the head of Highland Council's Climate Change Department, and the chair of Scotland Food and Drink. And as you can imagine, they were absolutely invaluable in bringing their ideas to us and their networks and giving us access to their contacts. So that's my second top tip really is surround yourselves with absolutely the best people you can find. And we originally planned a traditional face-to-face conference over a weekend in Inverness. And then COVID came along and like loads of other people, we hit the pause button. But after a few months of waiting, we began to think maybe we could have an online conference. And the more we thought about that, the more sense it seemed to make. For quite a few reasons. Fort William is 2 hours drive from Inverness and Thurso is a bit further in the opposite direction. So a physical conference for people throughout the Highlands would obviously going to make a huge commitment for our audience. So we settled on 5 consecutive Monday afternoons in January and February last year online. And that meant, first of all, because it was spread over 5 weeks, we could tweak each week's program to reflect the previous week's discussions. And also taking geography out of the picture meant that we could bring in guest speakers from anywhere in the UK and even beyond. So actually, we ended up with something that was quite different from the original face-to-face conference idea. And that leads on to my third and final top tip, which is take your time with planning. We took 2 years from the original idea to the conference. And in that time, we changed plans over and over again, but we also made more contacts. We learned from lots of other organizations. So some of the changing around was frustrating, but looking back, it actually made for a better outcome. So I guess the big question is, did it work? Well, the conference was designed to get delegates to agree the action they could take to improve the food system in the Highlands. And between them, they ended up with 11 ideas to take forward. And 9 of those are still live, which is great. In the process, we invented a new word, collaboration, and we discovered a passion and energy to change things. In the year since the conference, we formed the Highland Good Food Partnership, and we've got funding from member staff to support the various project groups. One group, to give you some examples, one group has commissioned research to apply high-tech greenhouse growing techniques at a croft scale. And we now have a crofter about to start a 2-year pilot study of that. We've also got a group, okay, thanks. We've also got a group working with Zero Waste Scotland and the Highland Council on food waste. And we've just taken on a part-time member of staff to support that agenda. We've produced a map of the Highland food system showing local fruit producers, community food growing initiatives, markets, et cetera, so individual groups who want to network can use that to find other groups they can speak to. And we've worked with Highland Council to get them to appoint a community growing officer and also to sign the Glasgow Food and Climate Declaration. So I don't think we've quite got the local food ethos that Liège has yet, but it seems to me that having started with just 2 people with no idea how to improve things, we've made quite a good start. And just in case you missed them, the top tips were, first of all, steal other people's good ideas. Secondly, surround yourselves with absolute top people. And thirdly, take your time and don't get frustrated when you have to go back to drawing board, because you'll probably end up with a better result.